and welcome to the NXT Spring Breaking Dude Review Night 2. I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, joined by Michael Hamlet and Michael Sidgwick from What Culture to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, also Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete. A video quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, they're joined by Hamlet and Sidgwick to review Night 2 of NXT Spring Breaking Dude.
Oh, bro, it's just like, dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah! Drop down, snap, ah! And then after that, you just drop in, you just ride the barrel and get pitted. So pitted like that.
I'm going to miss him.
Yeah.
For another year.
Another year. That's it, yeah. Just 11 and a half months to wait till he returns.
We've got Fallout, though, next week.
Yes, good
I've got
point.
the Fallout from Spring Break next week. So
That's true, because when NXT show passes, we just never hear mention of the title after it.
Yeah.
They never seem to crop back up in conversation. But I will miss Spring Breaking Dude.
I miss this show. It's great.
As soon as it's finished, I miss it, so I watch it again.
Yeah.
Tremendous, this.
Was this?
This was a good 2 hours. This was a good 2 hours.
no,
Well spent.
no, it's so
Gigi Dolan
poor.
burped.
Oh,
It's
that
not what
segment.
I like.
That's the best they've ever done.
Yes.
Like, of those segments. We're having a conversation. You won't believe it. We've stumbled across every match on this cast. The best ever. Like, that's
It's-
the best in class, and it's all class.
It is absolutely woeful, this television program. Absolutely woeful.
Disagree.
I mean, yeah, I know you would. You look at the discourse, right? And I will not spend too long on this. But if the idea is, well, AEW, it's just a bad show, and they don't do this and they don't do that, and people need to take it to task, it's just because there's some losers who are the audience who can't deal with something potentially being somewhere near the level of WWE. Because if people were interested legitimately and earnestly and in good faith in burying terrible booking that makes no sense whatsoever, this show would be the target of their scorn. Look at Sean Spears versus
Rich Bloody Holland.
Sean Spears versus Rich Holland. Had this all unfolded on Dynamite, you would never hear the end of it.
Yeah. I'll tell you why I love NXT. Hit me yesterday. You know, wrestlers love that, like, you know, wrestling's like ice cream. You can like your different flavors. People like chocolate, people like vanilla, all that. There's typically disagreement about both WWE and AEW because sometimes within the same show, it can be a bit of chocolate and then a bit of vanilla, and the fans wanted like all chocolate all night or all vanilla.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not the ice cream I bought. Why is there some vanilla all of a sudden crept in my chocolate? NXT, since 2.0 started, has been one of those double cones, half bubblegum, half chocolate orange. They don't go together. They don't work. But every week, it's like, right, time for my bubblegum and chocolate orange ice cream. Like, I've never once truly enjoyed it, but I kind of love it now.
Yeah.
And it absolutely knows its own universe, its own preposterous world it's created. Like,
But it's stupid.
yeah, it knows itself way more than Dynamite and Raw. Way, way more. I think, I get why Sidgwick has reached the point where he's like, I hate this. This is as garbage as it gets. No compromises. I'm watching this going, I think I'm in love with you, NXT. Like, it is delivering consistency like nothing else I watch. Now, whether or not you think that's consistently the worst wrestling television there is, the worst of all time in some circles, or the safest pair of hands in the wrestling week, I think it's that. Honestly, I do. Like, I think it is the soundest, in the fact it makes zero sense consistently. I think it is the soundest broadcast of the lot. It will never betray itself, NXT.
If I don't care. If I want consistency, like, I look for that in my gravy.
Well, NXT's
Or like
all
in a-
gravy.
or in a
really.
sh-
This is different gravy.
Or in a stew. Like,
I had tin stew for dinner today. It's like 16.
that's very
Is there a
British.
war on? Why is it?
69 pence.
I mean,
Fair play.
WWE versus AEW. Always, every day. And I've just done it again. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's move on.
What was it you always say about the best versions of Dynamite? The trifecta. This had the NXT trifecta for me.
Trifecta.
Yeah.
What's your trifecta?
It's the same. It's just slightly different in terms of it's the NXT version of great match, great promo, great
Skit.
Yeah,
Great
Great
skit.
angle, but skits for you.
Yeah. Great skit. Your favourite characters doing bollocks. What's the third one? Because it's not matches, it's not promos.
It had a great match on it. Big lads doing big lad stuff.
That wasn't very good.
It was great. You're right. Let's get into it because the new champ opens the weekly show. That's interesting. Comes out. Says, I like it.
That's a good diggy piece of shit. That is.
Straight in. Like, no, they're in the game early. He says...
A reducer.
He says...
Ref might not even book him. That's the trick.
No, this is the trick. Williams. He said he wants to get straight to business. He talked about this. He dreamt about it. He prayed for it, and we all wanted it. He's your new champion. He says a lot of people helped him to get to this moment, but he's focusing on one tonight. Ilya Dragunov. They went to war multiple times, pushed him to new levels. Thanks, Ilya, for everything you did. And says Raw just got a good one. But as for NXT, he says we're entering a new era, the Whoop That era. Gets a big chant, of course. He's going to continue to break...
You can make wrestling fans chant anything.
Yes.
You can make them chant anything.
You are an asshole. No, it's you're an asshole, wasn't it?
No, it should have been Yorin.
That's it.
Because I corrected Dwayne Johnson on the art of the promo.
But now...
You are in...
But not this version. This version's gone. Men are out the ass.
Men are out the ass.
Bottles full of piss.
But here comes Lash Legend. She congratulates Tricky. She says, look, you're now the NXT champion. Let's talk about it. She asks for help getting in the ring. Trick is a gentleman. He holds the rope open for her. But she's got an envelope with her. And she says, look, you're the hottest superstar in NXT. No doubt you're feeling yourself. You've got the entire NXT and WWE universe rocking with you. Trick says, well, let's not pretend like the last time you weren't out here, you tried to smack me. Now that I've got gold, you want to taste? Do you think I'm your little Reese's cup? You want to take off the gold and get straight to the chocolate on the inside? She says, I don't like Reese's. I like Kit Kats. And he says, I'll break you off then. Lash says, wait a minute, it's enough. The crowd are all riled up by this.
We're all horny.
Rubbing their thighs.
Yeah. That's Trick's problem. She says, you've got your head in the clouds. You're not focused. But you've got something for him right here. He says, what's in the envelope? She says, it's the truth. Trick's like, stop playing games. Lash says, all jokes aside, enjoy the NXT title run because it's going to soon come crashing down and things are going to get really, really hot.
No, I'm Dar. Like, fine, I suppose. Like, this is that thing that you have to have a heel to lose to straight away. He's going to present very little challenge to Trick Williams. But
NXT's AJ Styles.
They've already had this match.
they had remember, it was the wacky rules boxing bit, which like will show Trick's evolution from a silly sidekick to the world champion. So they can probably use that a little bit as well. So he'll run through him with very little bother. But
Plus Lash Legend.
Yeah, indeed. They are short on veterans, if I can use that term, on NXT.
Now they've lost Dijak.
Yes.
And Dragunov.
And Dragunov.
Yeah.
So in steps like Noam Dar. I'm telling the truth here. It's not like a great truth to tell, but it'll do.
It will wrestling for about 40 years.
It will just do, I suppose. And I think
What's in the envelope? I love it. I love it. What is in the envelope?
I need to know what's inside.
I think
It is really good, isn't it?
it's a
Honestly.
picture of him dressed up like an idiot boxer, and they'll be like, "We know that you're still a fraud." And
Well, don't spoil the preview.
sorry,
Next
yeah.
week,
And Reese's smoked Kit Kats as well, like Reese's stuff. Kit Kats are fine, but like
No, Kit Kats. I like to get 4 Kit Kat chunkies and melt them together and pretend like I'm a tiny person eating a giant Kit Kat.
Eating a giant what? Kit Kat?
Normal Kit Kat, but I'm like, whoa, look how big this is.
You know, get the foil, so you wrap it in foil.
Yeah, I have to make it- I have to
And then
wrap it in
piece
foil.
I like Kit Kat chunkies.
Yeah.
but like normal Kit Kats, they're not competing with Reese's cups or Reese's pieces.
I've got a...
Nutrageous.
Brindley Reese, of course.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have too much of a good thing when...
Pardon?
No, you can, you know.
It's yet to come up.
You've watched WWE and
I've never been
stopped.
knowingly overfed.
He had a week
in every
Philly.
way.
Yeah.
Get us fed and
Okay.
fed. Well, that's- No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was. Nah. Reese's peanut butter
Yeah.
cups. Remember when, like, hey guys, we can import stuff from America.
Yeah.
So you probably should have done that after the Jolly Ranchers Reese and Chocolate Chew boom of 1996.
That's right. And Mountain Dew.
And then it just stopped for a while. And then it was like, everything's just imported. Oh, this is great. Reese's peanut butter cups.
20 quid.
Yeah. I went wild. I went like Partridge on the Toblerones with Reese's peanut butter to the point where, like, every birthday and Christmas people would just get us them, and I can't eat one anymore very much. I just think it's too much. It's my own fault. But a Kit Kat, I'll have a Kit Kat. I could have one Kit Kat a week for the rest of my life quite easily.
Challenge accepted.
I'll cut out the middleman this time. Like, you can just get a jar of chocolate spread and a jar of peanut butter and a teaspoon. Like, you don't need a massive chocolate factory to make that. You can do that yourself at home.
Was it the Reese's that we saw?
From a chocolate factory?
No,
You're going to melt the chocolate?
I could if I wanted to.
How would you melt it?
Over a hob or something. I don't know. How would you melt chocolate when you're baking?
Yeah.
You need a glass bowl over a pan, otherwise it would burn.
Yeah.
So you can't do it without me. You can't do anything without me.
Jar of Nutella, jar of peanut butter.
Was it Reese's that we saw when we were in Texas that had the thing in them?
They've upgraded as well. The one I had in Philadelphia was a Reese's cup with the Reese's cereal inside.
What?
I was like, well, you've completed the game. Bought 4
But previously, what did they have in it?
crisps. So
He was the happiest little clam. It was great.
I can't believe you go for a Kit Kat. I get why though. If you've overdone it,
That's my fault.
they don't taste like anything anymore. It's just sadness and sickness.
It's just
isn't it?
like sickness
yeah.
that I have, and a sickening quality to the.
Have you had a Nutrageous?
Ooh, maybe.
They just hoy all of it in there. There's some nuts. There's some biscuit. There's some like Rice Krispie cake. It's all in there.
What about nougat?
Probably some nougat, some chocolate around it. It's chewy, but it doesn't like sort of neglect the Reese'sness of it all. I'll see if I can get one for you from Poundland or something.
Oh, thank you.
I'm getting my next tin of stew.
Your favourite bit of the show came next.
Oh, this is good.
Ariana Grace and Gigi Dolina are in a restaurant to learn about fine dining etiquette. I'm so glad they've picked this one back up. And Gigi says, we certainly won't learn about ladies tonight at NXT Underground. And Ariana Grace is like, you need to talk more quietly, more ladylike. And Gigi takes a big drink of water and burps.
Stop laughing, man.
It was sort of like...
Look, he's actually greased.
It's just like, they weren't even trying. It was like, I'm going to eat a big meal. And I'll tell you who probably likes big meals is Obafemi, because he's big and he's fighting hard. Like, you won't believe it. Like, they weren't even trying. It was brilliant. And then the water gag, because they can't do it. They can't tell jokes. Like... needs to be sparkling that, and they need to be doing. We're in a fancy place. Sparkling water, please. And she's like, "No way, man! Sparkling water." And then she's like, "Well, no, just sip it and you'll enjoy it. Sipping's for losers." And then she gulps the sparkling water, and then, oh my god, what do I do? What do I do? Burp, smash it on the garage door, and then go on with the show. But no, she just necked a pint of water and did a big cartoon burp.
Is that not how things happen?
What?
If you just eat or drink too quickly?
I think you could.
Well, I've got about a third of a cup of water here. What if I just do it in one go and see what happens?
Yeah,
Send it.
This is going to go badly, Rogues.
We like to drink this.
Put it on air, Hamflet. I don't want to be...
That's it. He's sipping it.
Wee.
Oh,
yes.
Hamflet's right.
It's water. I'll have a good burp. Burp's a part.
I probably could. I wouldn't do it on a podcast, but I think that's how it works. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point, isn't it?
We'll do a test on the preview next
Maybe you're
week.
just too used to having large portions of things.
Maybe. Burp.wav for Gigi Dolan as well.
Oh, yeah, I'll get it on the soundboard for next week.
Didn't even try to like lip sync it or anything.
Well, try it when you get down to your desk.
What, eating loads? I've been doing that for like 39 years.
Eat loads.
Anyway, Gigi's like, and don't forget the North American Championship match with big meaty men slapping meat. And Grace says, combat never solves anything.
Why are you a wrestler?
She's the best.
She's not said she's a beauty queen. Catch it off.
But why isn't this show the one that people just bury for fun? Oh, because you can't monetize it.
Because what you do for fun is watch it.
Yeah.
No, because you can't monetize it.
That's, yeah, you don't tweet about
I mean,
it.
this happens on Dynamite. Can you imagine? I'm not. I'm sorry. I
It would
hate
never happen
this.
on Dynamite. They have not got the balls to promote a segment like this on frigging Dynamite. Not on their best day. Tony Khan has not got the dog in him to have a dinner segment where he sets out the card. And if he has...
Shut up, man.
Prove me wrong.
Shut up, man. This is the show that should be getting buried every week. It is. And
It's buried. It's buried in the coverage because absolutely nobody cares about it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though? This should be the show.
And then...
But do you see what I'm getting
balls,
at here?
tiring balls appear on the internet to say, oh, that's like the single worst show. I think I've got a take. I think this is the single worst wrestling show of all time. The most boring, bitchless take havers on the internet say that about this show. And they barely even watch it. It's off like the one clip that penetrates.
But like,
wasting,
you know what I'm getting at, don't you?
Wasting bandwidth on X tweet.
You know what I'm getting at.
No, I get this. I get why this is purpose serving.
Gigi says, Night and Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
And Axiom. No! They defended their titles against AOP. I forget what the reference was, but I remember next. She says, like, oh, you have to use your cutlery from outside in. And Gigi's like, funny about that. It's one of these implements is a knife. Speaking of knives, stabbing in the back, JC Jane, Thea Hale, and Ariana Grace gives her a toast and she drinks some more water and burps again. Double pop.
I couldn't believe that made it on telly. Speaking of knives, I couldn't believe I was watching it. You guys. I didn't think you'd have the guts for that one.
I can't believe you laid this out and I haven't seen it coming. It's like, you put the breadcrumbs there and I've not put it together. Class
It's like a Young Bucks angle.
Indeed, exactly, yeah. North American title match next. It was Ivar challenging Obafemi. I had a load of fun watching this. Big lads just twatting each other, basically. Ivar early on, somersault senton off the apron. Gets a spinning power slam, but only gets a 1 count off it. Femi comes back with the Irish curse backbreaker. They're out on the floor. Femi gets sent into the steps, and then they break the barricade. I've seen that before. Go to a break, come back. Ivar's knocking him off the top again, hits a big flip dive out to the outside. But then Femi runs him over with a big forearm. Ivar knocks him down again. There's like a feat of strength. Femi gets Ivar up, Samoan drop after he was trying to set up for the doom salt thing that he does. But immediately after that, Ivar jumps off the top rope with a massive moonsault press, and Femi just gets his foot on the rope to break the count. He sets up for another doomsault, but Femi cuts him off. Electric chair with Ivar on Femi's shoulder, which looks great. Powerbombs Ivar, 1, 2, 3. Let's talk match, and then we've got to talk post-match, because I was astonished by what came next.
I'm with Sidge on this. I think
I haven't even said anything.
Ivar, well, I know how you feel about it. Couldn't wait to bury the one good thing at the start, but I actually agree. Right? I think...
Can I talk about it first?
Ivar is entering like the Bronson Reed vortex. And I'm feeling quite bored by his big man stuff, truthfully. And as much as I like the idea that and they did focus in on this as well, something simple like Obafemi knowing where the ropes are so he can, like, for the first time he might be under pressure, he's now developing a bit of ring awareness because he's a champion. He's like, if you thought he'd got to the spot a bit too soon, now he's actually sort of starting to own his place on this roster. And I thought that's actually quite nice character development for Obafemi beyond out he comes to do big man stuff. So it wasn't without merit, but I think the expectation level has, unfortunately, like with Bronson Reed and certain others, been raised too high with Ivar at this point, and they are getting a little bit lazy in their agenting. Like the barrier is perhaps an example of it, the electric chair, when it just doesn't compare with some of the other feats of strength we've seen from Obafemi.
He's done it with another person up there as well.
Like
I'm going to let this play out because he said, I'm not finished with Obafemi, which means he's going to have to have another match. And the only way you can elevate that is by stepping it up, Sidge. So.
Oh. Well, this style of match I've seen a lot of recently, and this was, I don't know, I just felt, one too many, or I'm just getting a bit bored. It's all very, there's no sense of like a match happening, really, or a struggle or a war. Increasingly, it's a stunt show, and it's, you know, it's usually really quite impressive of, oh, this person is doing that move. You know what I mean? That's the premise, and it's a bit too much of a spot fest. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a bit bored, and quite frankly, there was 2 sequences in succession here where they just completely were on different pages, and they just whiffed the big spots, whatever they were. It was one of those 2 spots where it was like, who's meant to get hurt by that? What are you even trying to do? So that removed me. That distracted me. I will say, I have seen quite a few Dynasty main event like moments where someone has to get into position for a move or has to move in a way that's really quite contrived to get to the next bit. Because the moonsault on Ivar looked like he got all of it, and Vic Joseph said that, like, with a win. So we got all of that one. I thought, God, has he just flushed him right in the face? So when Obafemi moved purely to facilitate getting the foot on the rope, I bought that. And that's really quite impressive given his level of experience. Like, if you compare that to Joe at Dynasty, when he was getting in position for those swerve stomps, I thought he couldn't have made it look any more obvious what he was trying to do.
It used to be that, like, X-Pac Heat was based on the fact that poor Sean Waltman was stuck in an era where, like, characters moved so fast through everybody they feuded with, through whether or not they turned heel.
Should be Miz Heat.
Yeah. Like,
Ziggler Heat.
There's so many guys that deserve that term more than X-Pac because he returned to WWE in, like, the night after WrestleMania in 98, and that started emerging, that, like, response, that hum, late 99, talking 18 months, early 2000s. It's not X-Pac, it's just because of the way that everybody was cycled through so quickly. We have that now, less so with people, but I think with, like, match styles, wrestling gets overexcited and there's suddenly loads of a certain style of match for a bit, and then we move on to what the next style is, because one week something surprises you, and then a promoter or a booker goes like, right, at least one of them a week, and I think we're starting to hit saturation point for this style. Bit of a problem, because I actually think Raw's done a good job of assembling like an entire division around them, so I don't know, maybe like, I'm not saying that the genre's dead or anything, but all of a sudden now expectations have been raised. So you can't just hoy the big fellas together and guarantee it's going to work.
You can, with one simple solution.
Viking rules.
Correct.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what happened next. Wesley's music hit.
Yeah.
And he comes out.
When did he do the really genuinely emotionally
Summer last year, was it?
Me and Andy talked about this on the news. It was like, we thought he was going to be out for 12 months, and it was about maximum 6 months ago this happened.
Like, yeah.
Where is it?
October, November time, something. It was
summer
devastating, wasn't it?
It was devastating. Like, I thought the guy looked absolutely crushed. And, you know, you saw the precedent with, like, Randy Orton's back of that's one you can't mess about with. I mean, you have to bump on that multiple times, particularly when you work the style that Wesley does. So I thought, that's him for a year.
And in his eyes, it looked worse.
Yeah,
He's like, I'll get back as quick as I can, but the doctors have said it's going to be pretty bad.
Usually, like, there's a defiance when a wrestler says that, and they know, I can get over this one, it sucks. But he looked like he was fearing the worst.
It was around NXT deadline, so that's December.
That's December. That is less time than I thought.
So he's going to be out for 8 to 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas.
December the 5th. And yet, here he is. And I thought, I assume he's going to say, I can't fight for this title yet, but I'm endorsing this person as a result of our knowledge of the injury. And then he jumped off the guardrail onto the steps, and I went, I guess he's fine then. And he stared over Femi. Fantastic to see him back.
Yeah. Again, a character that basically just what we were discussing has now got all this extra credit in the bank and this extra sort of emotional investment. I loved Wesley anyway, but there's even more now. Even if he doesn't reclaim this North American title and you think that's going to be a bit of a mountain to climb with Obafemi, they've probably got down the road like a world title contender in Wesley.
Yeah.
Realistically now at this
definitely.
point.
All's good in Chase U. Thea Hale's heading out for a match with JC Jane.
What could possibly go wrong?
Fallon Henley's there. She says, I'm not going to get involved after Jada and everything last week. Plus, she's a bit annoyed about not getting drafted. She says, JC Jane's kind of still in my head. But Thea wants her in her corner, and Fallon Henley's, go on then. And we get the grudge match. Thea Hale versus JC Jane.
It's absolutely hopeless.
Such a bad match.
They slap each other. They go to the floor. We take a break. We come back. Hale springboards into a neck breaker for 2. JC Jane missed a cannonball. They're both down. Hale gets back up. Michinoku driver for 2, but Jane kicks her outside. It looks like Jasmine Nix, who's obviously come out with JC Jane, is going to jump Thea Hale from behind. But Fallon Henley eats the bullet for her. She eats the Pele kick from Nix. Hale gets back into the ring. Jane goes after her, but she gets caught in a Kimura lock. Thea Hale gets the submission victory. And then it's time for the Chase U celebration, Michael Hamflett.
Yeah. Like the match was so poor. Don't care, but it was so poor. Like it was like I've quite enjoyed Thea Hale since she's just gone back to being this is the best version of her, this like fighting babyface, learning kind of holds as she goes. That's part of the Chase U deal, but she needs to learn quicker because this was just no good. JC Jane, I've sort of developed a bit of a fondness for as part of this storyline, but I mean, it was 2021 when Toxic Attraction formed and they had the belts for like 8 months. What goes on there that the matches can be this?
Combines.
Like,
One next week.
this was as developmental as it gets from two people at this point, are kind of at that. A few weeks ago, might have been like, well, maybe it's draft time. They're going to work this big payoff and they could both go off to Raw and SmackDown. That's what you were thinking with these sort of characters. But no. And then I don't care because the angle afterwards was hilarious. So,
But angles lead to wrestling matches, and the wrestling matches are of this caliber.
but the wrestling matches lead to more angles, and the angles are of this caliber.
Right, okay.
So it's a
And Fallon
constant
Henley's
cycle.
great.
Right.
I do like Fallon Henley. And
I
I-
find Henley's good.
this losing streak she's been on has obviously been leading to this, and her saying that she thought she was going to get drafted and not realise that, well, hang on, you're not really in the form to get drafted. So now she's obviously going to blame what's happened here and what's been happening recently. The bit where, like, it's one thing to just not read, nobody cares at Chase U that she saved the day without the sort of the acknowledgement or whatever. To get in the ring and be like, could I have some flowers? And then just Andre Chase just nearly elbow her clean out the ring. 'Cause she's like, hey, we did it, Chase, you're going to out of the way. Like, that's pretty funny. Like, and then all of a sudden you've created the justification, and I like this.
She attacked the Hailers.
Yeah,
The
she
Hailers
attacked
leaving
Thea
the
Hale.
ring, yeah.
I've spoken extensively about one of my icks in professional wrestling. My foremost ick is a professional wrestler who isn't Mick Foley, Bruiser Brody, Eddie Kingston, like trying to appear unhinged.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Kingston going down the ramp with a gas can, and you believed in that moment he wants to kill someone. I mean, that's impossible. He's just brilliant. When you see the guy from the right just do it, I just hate it, right? Yeah. The idea of like fake intensity, I just, it's my ick. This is the match equivalent of that. They just had no idea. But they were told, right, you hate each other. This is the big grudge program. We've built it for months and months and months. You know, you got a scrap in there. It just looks so rubbish. Really rubbish. Post-match, baby faces didn't look like baby faces, but it's Chase U. It's probably going to be fine. The question I'm asking, right, Adam Wilborn,
Please.
is that you see Fallon Henley in there,
Yeah.
and she's now developed an attitude adjustment. Do you think someone's going to question what's got into her? And do you think this person, over time, is going to make her see the error of her ways? And she will have errors in her ways over the next few months of the heel turn.
What's got into you and why isn't it me?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So what's happening here?
I just hope those crazy kids get it together because we were actually fantasy booking, weren't we?
Yeah.
Fallon Henley.
When?
In the office before.
I think, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember. I think you're on
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
And we.
He's shooting. We were talking about this Fallon Henley, and he's going to tell you a whole set piece, and this was over the desk's crack.
Yeah, I was pitching heel Fallon Henley running the bar and
Angrily cleaning glasses.
angrily cleaning glasses. All right. Brooks Jensen comes in. Like, what was all that about? You know, and maybe what he was looking for isn't in the NXT car park; it's in the bar, because he realizes, so all of a sudden, heel Fallon Henley. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button there.
Hey, you all right?
And some other guy at the bar, you know, they have like the bowls of peanuts on an American bar. They're like, everyone can have some peanuts, yeah? Know about this? You ever seen this? Heard about this?
Yeah.
There's only one handful left, and a guy goes to grab it. It's in front of Brooks Jensen. He suddenly realizes, I have to embrace the dark side if I want to, you know. And he breaks the bloke's wrist.
All right, okay.
And then the kids get it together. Thoughts?
No, I don't really have no thoughts. I thought you just enjoy that for a few minutes.
These are nuts related to the intercourse.
We get a vignette.
I do want it as a heel in the bar.
Yeah.
Like, just finally sells it to Gallus. Fallon, what are you doing?
I remember them.
Yeah.
Train the Rock.
I mean, I never would. Genuinely, never would.
No.
Like, ever, until I said that.
It's like such a Gallus legacy on the show because you've got like friggin' American Gallus, British Gallus, boring Gallus, Gallus is like, there's one point in that tag title match, there's about 15 Galluses out there.
Remember the Gauntlet Gallus? Oh my God, that was awful.
We get a vignette with Tyson DuPont and Tariq Igwe.
We made the final, boss. Probably what they say.
They talk about their...
When they get pissed in the pub and they're trying to like gas each other up.
I've got his number. Should I ring him?
You ring him.
All right, Jane.
You're right, Jane.
We told him that person in ball stuff. Drink it.
They'll never take that away from us. I don't know.
Keeping my fingers crossed for Clash at the Castle.
Price of pundits out of it, they'll price me out of it. I'll get booked. Paul!
You know, with Hydro, it used to mean something.
Do you know, Paul, I could do something there, I'm telling you, they'll love us. Oh my God, imagine Gallus at the castle. Clash with a Gallus.
I just thought, like, I had like my nightmare scenario. Nightmare scenario. The big match.
It's a nightmare.
The big Drew and Punk match, and then Drew's bought in Gallus for the night, and just Gallus beating down here. Get off him. Get the off CM Punk, you scumbags. Get out that man's ring.
I know you don't like booze, Punk, but have some coffee.
Oh, God. Pouring friggin' like iron brew down his throat. Get it down here.
Get it down, it's good for you.
Come down, little hard on you up. Come on.
Oh, God.
Back to NXT. We got a vignette for the new lads, Tyson DuPont and Tariq Igwe, talking about their accomplishments, their athleticism, and their intelligence. And tonight is their first step in the NXT journey. And then they lost to Gallows and Anderson. I did like the look of them, though.
Show this, innit?
I did like the look of them. I'll let it play out. They've earned that. I thought they did look class in there. It was fun seeing them chuck around Carl Anderson in particular.
Particularly like
Class.
Tyson DuPont are quite like stuck out. I thought, there's something in you.
There's a chin lock in there, surprisingly, from Luke Gallows. Igwe had to power up into a fireman's carry. DuPont hit a side slam on Anderson. Everything broke down. And in the end, Anderson just grabbed a spine buster and they hit the magic killer on Igwe to get the 1, 2, 3.
If there hadn't been multiple cases in NXT of this type of debut where you get the shine but you lose, and it's like, look, they've got something here but not today, I think fine. But like a lot of the times, the characters then just like disappear, or they get a story that's so low on the totem pole that you're kind of instructed not to really care just yet. I'd rather NXT do a little bit more of the calling up or the vignettes or the whatever, and somebody be pretty much ready. Like, so they get this like a series of vignettes, like hit the big debut this week and they just win and they kick ass.
Yeah.
I think it's time for one of them because I've had quite a lot of these. And like I say, I thought Tyson DuPont in particular stuck out, but the Good Brothers are going to win the belts, or at least fight for the belts. So that's what's happening at the moment. And I just thought it was attempting to serve too many masters this.
So it's a classic clash of the green force versus the mid object. And what am I meant to get from this? As a hater, I quite enjoy this on a perverse level. Get those club boys down here. We'll show the young rookies how it's done, what's done. What is this? What's the thought process here?
I see you're not slowing it down in bump class.
It was just so tedious.
As always, you two can't see the wood for the trees, can you? They're there.
Look at that. I feel sorry for you two.
Yeah, honestly. They need to learn a little bit more about this business so they can get the victory. And they put over 3 things, as I said in that vignette: the accomplishments they've had, their athleticism, and what was the other thing I said?
Intelligence.
And where else can you develop your intelligence? You know,
Chase University.
Thank you very much. And there it is. It's goated. We get a montage of all the NXT call-ups to the main roster. A nice,
I could see it.
Nice reaction. Genuinely lovely to see people just happy for their mates. Yeah. And people like Johnny Moss, Alex Winkler, and Robbie Brookside talking about getting talent. And
the old quarter catch crew.
The future of WWE has never been better.
But the past has never been worse. Look at us.
Well, NXT UK is where the stars are made. That's why your favourites became favourites.
Is that what they're peddling now?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, remember NXT UK is where the best wrestle. So remember they just try and steal phrases from AEW about 3 weeks after they've started. Yeah, probably I'd say this season of Total Divas is
Really gonna be elite.
going to be elite. Yeah, that's the word I'd use.
It's like 3 stables after the first 6 months of Dynamite. Loads of people, I'm confused. Like, Triple H gets a pencil, books 10 stables. This is amazing.
It's cinema.
Okay, in the Inner Circle and the Elite, there's too many of them.
There's
10 guys.
One of my favourites, honestly, one of my absolute favourites was when he did start to take the piss. It's probably better now when he started to really indulge as Tony Khan of like, right, because there's a lot of stables and various associations, that means there's a lot of seconds at ringside, and it's a bustling ringside scene and probably too many matches. Yeah. Someone made a spreadsheet, and there's 83 wrestlers I counted on screen in total. That's too many. I don't know who
I can design macros for a bad faith take, but I can't count, count wrestlers.
Yes. That was 83. Crazy. That's too many. So it's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Probably the last example, the last echo to what's it, the monoculture?
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones was the last.
Yeah.
It was the throwback to a monoculture where there's like 5 things. One of them is like there are all these massive things. You cannot escape it. Game of Thrones is probably the last.
Feels like it, yeah.
And that had more characters than any show I've ever seen in my life.
Is it like
fairly certain that's not AEW's issue. I'm fairly certain that people think wrestling fans are stupid and would never take the hobby seriously, and you give them key evidence for the case with that stupid post.
I'd love somebody to make, like, you know, the Game of Thrones credits where you got all the different islands where all the different families. Imagine a Dynamite one. Best friends living over here. There's the Dark Order too. There's the Jericho.
And it's just on his own.
Oh, hello, it's CMLO.
And NXT as well. Going around chase you.
Well, the metaphor did at Stand and Deliver, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And anyway, now go to class.
It's great.
Car park in the instant.
It's Jericho yet again. Why has he got 4 islands?
Anyway, Ava's in the ring. She hasn't got a surname.
4 islands, 2 on each arm. Bit of a deep cut.
Right, there you go.
Some Vegas fun we had. Yeah. Carry on.
Ava's in the ring. She hasn't got a surname. She's Rock's daughter and the general manager of NXT,
she
of course.
sure is.
Nothing makes her prouder than when NXT stars get to showcase their talent on Raw and SmackDown. They're going to be missed, but NXT needs to keep pushing forward. Can't help but wonder who's going to take their place. There's a huge opportunity at NXT Battleground. You're grounded. Battlegrounded. Well, Mom, ding, 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 ding. You are a winner. They're going to crown the first ever women's North American champion. And just like the men's first time they did this, is going to be a ladder match.
Oh my God.
But it's not as simple as just putting your name forward. There's going to be a combine starting next week.
Oh my God.
Then the top 12 in the combine are going to compete in qualifiers.
I'm putting my hand over the button.
Okay. They're going to compete in qualifiers to see which 6 people qualify for the women's ladder match. The women's division their women's division is the best in pro wrestling, and NXT Battleground is another chance to show that. Jada Parker comes out and says, "Big news, and I'm the next big thing, and I'm going to smash the combine, basically. And I'll be the women holding the title." Sol Ruka comes out. She says, "You're not missing confidence, but you're not going to be the first women's North American champion. I'm going to be top of the combine leaderboard and top of that ladder as well."
Anything.
Yeah, these 2 things have come together. A little monologue, isn't it?
Ariana Grace comes out and says, "Ladies, can't we keep our decorum? Why are you being so aggressive? A ladder match? Why can't we just decide who's champion by simply, we don't get to hear what she says," which I was really disappointed. I want to know how she was going to crown the champion here.
Well, why is she
a contest?
Why? And don't say because she's actually a beauty queen, because you know she's both.
Yes.
And don't play dumb with me. Why is Ariana Grace a professional wrestler?
It's a stepping stone for her to get into the beauty pageant world full time.
But she was already beauty. She's already really good at it.
Only on the indies of the beauty pageant.
Listen to me now. She's so good
that
she's able to teach others, Gigi Dolan specifically, in the arts of etiquette and being a beauty queen.
Yeah.
So why is she a wrestler?
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that she didn't want to wrestle.
That makes absolutely no sense to me and anybody else. I don't even think it makes sense to you.
You just said it. You just said stuff.
You just said stuff.
I'm just saying stuff.
You just said stuff. Yo, that's what you do
That's
for a
what
living.
that's what people
you do for a living.
When people
You
ask
just
me
say
what I
stuff.
do.
Just say stuff.
Jeff Jarrett joined the World Wrestling Federation as a stepping stone to become a country music star and could already play the guitar. She can do beauty pageant stuff,
Why
but
would
it's only
you-
at an indie level. This is television exposure.
Okay.
If she gets drafted to Raw, even more TV exposure. Rock got into films through wrestling.
Right.
Wrestling was just a chapter.
Okay.
She just wants to finish the story.
It's one thing, maybe, to use the platform afforded to you by wrestling, but fatal flaw in the plan, most people outside of wrestling don't give a toss about it, and that's historically been the case.
It's true.
Moreover. Even though nobody really gets bruised. It's quite curious in pro wrestling. The
That was when
idea,
kayfabe died for me as a kid.
the idea sold to you is that could happen. Why would Ariana Grace choose a side gig in which she could bruise up, or she could break a bone, she could get Joey Mercuried. She's in a ladder match, she could get Mercuried.
Yep.
There's precedent. Why would you choose this gig that could potentially ruin it? It's not like doing some shifts at a bar to supplement you if you're doing, like, I don't know, what's the word for when they absolutely take the piss and try to get
0-hour contracts.
No. It's like that's another piss take. When you theoretically you want to do copywriting and they say, oh, you could do it on this basis.
For exposure.
But
Or
no,
like-
there's an actual, like, not internship, the British equivalent.
Okay.
So basically, if you want to live away from home, and I did, you can't do that job because they'll pay you $6,000 a year with the idea of being able to do a bar shift on the nights or whatever. I would rather do that than bump.
she's just thinking about this on a more economic basis, and this line of work gives her free access to a gym and like dietitians.
Risk reward.
Risk reward.
I think it's risk.
Like-
You get Mercuried.
You might want to make a dad proud.
Thing is,
Yes.
you don't need a gym to work out though. There's lots of in-home personal training exercises you could do.
She's Wilborn's hit upon something there. Like,
And if anything, it's a really poor facility in order to get in shape. Because if anything, the whole point is walking like a lady. How are you going to do that with no ACL?
that's fair. Well, I mean, as far as gyms go, there's probably better ones to teach you to be a wrestler.
Yeah, indeed.
So-
and there's probably better
She goes-
gyms that won't break your
She goes
knees.
to promo class is more important than bump class at the PC. And that's going to, for those things where they ask questions about like world peace and all that sort of stuff, she gets to practice that every single week in front of
Thinking
a
on her
live,
feet, yeah.
live audience, that kind of stuff.
That's not the worst take in the world. But she could instead, again, I'm telling you that, avoid the bumping
Yep.
and go to an improv class where realistically, I think you can go to like free ones, can't you? Like a club? Like an improv class club?
What is?
I've just thought he said he's got a gun.
Oh, Michael Scott's
Yeah. Well, that's one of my favourite office guys. Talk! Just talk! Shut up!
Meejin comes out anyway.
Yeah.
Says, hold up, princess. Did someone say ladders?
It's nothing more bleak. Well, there's considerably bleaker things than this. But it's very bleak that you go to you finished NXT, well done, you got promoted. Go to the main roster, do the square root of absolutely a all, and then come back to NXT. It's like, oh, they've obviously got nothing for you, have them meet in.
And it's just like, if anybody knows something about getting kicked out of the ladder matches, it's me. Like, remember that time I like busted myself open in a really hard hitting match that meant fundamentally nothing?
Oh, was that
was
to
me.
get that advantage for the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
gimmick
the
match?
War Games advantage ladder match.
When Paul Levesque went full Russo for the Wednesday Night War.
Yeah.
Second ladder.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
Okay, if Tony Khan's the guy who does excess, you're burning through your stipulations and you do too much and you need to be stopped. Paul Levesque once booked a ladder match to determine who would get the advantage for the next really injurious War Games match.
Correct.
And he half killed Adam Cole to accomplish this very desperate end.
Yeah.
It was Adam Cole versus, in a ladder match,
So,
Is this the one you went to?
yeah, the baby faces were Owens, Dijak, Ciampa, and Keith Lee. And it wasn't Owens because he was a surprise fourth man. So I'll go with Dijak.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah?
I thought you'd never remember in a million years. God damn it.
Well, there was 2 in 2 weeks. Adam Cole was actually working the shoot schedule Hulk Hogan speaks of. I think he was working 40 nights a month.
Anyway, Grace introduces herself to Michin, but says she's got to be disqualified. And then they just all get into a big fight, basically. Everyone just piles in at this point.
The Combine, that's going to be a bit of fun, isn't it?
Oh, my God, that's going to be awesome.
Is there going to be one wrestler we've never seen or heard of, but just around the Performance Center, they're all a bit scared if she ever gets called up because she's going to kick their ass. And in the Combine.
That would be clever.
I'm thinking...
So I don't anticipate it happening.
I'm thinking how often in wrestling are assault courses goated? Pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Was it Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn?
Yeah. They're always class. So...
The Bianca Belair one as well. That was good.
That Pandora one.
Aye.
Yeah. So do that in the Combine, etc. Big law here. This ladder match, let's not forget, the North American title, that got Lars Sullivan his 5-star match for Bryan Danielson. That ladder match.
Yeah.
So they have put a not insignificant amount of prestige on this sequel for the women's North American title. That expectations will be high. Is it the Vegas show that I can never remember the name of
NXT
this?
Battleground, you're Battleground, you're a winner. Yeah, that one.
In the Apex. Can't wait to see what
Not going head to head with Double or Nothing.
No, not anymore. June the 9th.
It's not.
No. No, it's just probably worried that there'd be nobody in the scrum because they'd be racing off to NXT.
Street Profits are backstage. They meet with thank you, Crazy.
When I'm cleaning windows.
And Axiom.
Montez Ford was going to be a single superstar.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to that?
Every time.
No, I've already given it about 3 years.
How long?
Dawkins basically says
WrestleMania! That's my favourite thing, except for that.
they've been fighting AOP for a while, and it's going to hurt tonight, but they need to show them where they belong. AOP don't have heart. Little nod to Von Wagner. But remember, never slow down. That's what their thing, of course. And Shayna Baszler trying
I ain't
to
done it yet.
Street Profits are rubbish, aren't they? Oh, they're behind me.
When's that Montez Ford going to bloody do something? Been waiting for him for 3 years. Oh, behind me, innit?
Lola Vice is hitting the bag to set up ahead of NXT Underground. Shayna Baszler tries to give her some advice, and she says, "Shut up. I don't need you. I've got the fastest hands in NXT." And Shayna's just like, at the camera.
Yeah.
It's a proper office.
It's going somewhere, this. I think off the back of the finish, it's going somewhere. Stuff's happening.
Speaking of which, excellent strategy applied next by Sean Spears against Ridge Holland, lulling him into thinking he won. Yeah, he won. He beat, I'm not really know what to say about this. He hit a Death Valley driver into the corner and a lifting DDT and just beat him. And I thought, oh, well, that's the end of the grudge then.
So Sean Spears' entire modus operandi as a wrestler is to get Ridge Holland to embrace his violent side. Mm-hmm. And the whole idea was, I want you to, if you want some, give me some, okay? And what he wants to do, like, think about what a professional wrestler should want to do, right? Win championships and the accompanying money, right?
And sweet PLE money.
Sweet PLE money, right? By being good and winning matches, and then you win championships. Every wrestler really fundamentally should be doing this. Sean Spears, on the other hand, is the opposite of that, so the opposite of good and the opposite of correct. Wants to get CTE delivered to him by someone who's reckless, who incidentally should realistically be hurting people as his job.
Yeah.
Right? And Sean Spears is so bad at the wrong thing that he can't even get his ass kicked sufficiently for him to enjoy it. This is absolutely brainless. This is the Shibata booking of professional wrestling. Tell me I'm wrong this time.
This is the worst character that we review on any of the shows we watch. Like, the Sean Spears character, rock bottom.
And he's meant to be your clever coach player.
Yeah.
Who knows it inside out. You can't really apply it. There's not the intangibles. But
Loves the club.
My God, he'll give you the foundation for success with his brilliant ideas.
It's the worst
It's
character.
a fraud.
Yeah. He has at least...
I mean, if he's got anything to do with this, and hopefully he doesn't, like, he cannot say he's a great mind, is Sean. He'll stick with him. You'll do right. Will you? This is pathetic.
He has at least JCJ and Rich Holland, because it's the only way it's up for Rich since Sean's like rocked up and said, hello. Yeah, he actually has.
Yeah.
A terrible character. They've yet again misunderstood some of the core tenets. It's the Lexus King. I got what I wanted. Your ass kicked. Exactly what I wanted.
Did I stutter?
You fell into my trap.
Did I stutter?
Roxanne
That was
Perez.
the test.
Roxanne Perez is livid with Ava about not being drafted. Ava, she hasn't got the surname. She's The Rock's daughter and the general manager of NXT. And Ava, quite rightly, explains champions were protected. You weren't going anywhere.
No, it's the biggest plot hole in the draft. Pointed this out to Sid yesterday. Dragunov gets drafted, having lost a match to Trick, where if Trick lost, he would have to leave NXT and find his fortune on Raw and SmackDown, where he would get substantially more money to find that fortune. By winning the title, he robbed himself of the opportunity, freeing up Ilya Dragunov to get the opportunity. The year that she has spent trying to get that belt back has cost her the call-up.
Vince, I know this system doesn't work.
That is bust.
Trick didn't say Trick could go to Raw or SmackDown. They said his career was on the line, technically.
We're going to sack Trick Williams.
Apparently. Then rules are rules. Yeah. It says Ava's got a vendetta against her, and Ava says, no, you ain't going anywhere because you're the champion. And she says, don't play stupid. And Ava's like, right, I want to talk to you about something. And Rock's like, piss off, and just leaves. More on this later.
Did you
Texas?
This is going in a great direction.
It's from Texas. None of them get it.
Did you see Booker T as the draft analyst on Raw?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He got your eye for this draft. Damian Priest. It was like you trying to catch me up on the rules. Booker.
This is when we had the bit with Briggs and Ivar and Wesley. Ivar saying he's not finished. Briggs saying he fancies it as well.
Both losers, though. So.
But Wesley's going to... I think
Good
Wesley's
booking, though.
Wesley's going to fight...
When it's not good, Sage, it's generationally bad. And if it's generationally bad, it's sort of good.
Speaking of which, Final Testament,
It's consistent.
they're coming for the titles. NXT should get ready. Never mind all that, though, because it's time to go on a car ride with the family. Love this.
Yep.
Stacks and Tony in the front. Luca and the Riz in the back.
Sing it along and we don't look back.
Tony says, oh! So I beat this Charlie and the Chocolate Factory guy right in the middle of the ring. Stacks says, that's right, boys, you did. And Luca in the back says,
Terrible voice. Takes you out of it.
Yeah.
Luca says, the way I see it, boss, he owes you a double. And Tony says, oh, that's why I'm going to take what he wants the most, the Heritage Cup.
Oh my god.
Look, I want you on the phone with Ava. Set this thing up. On it. And then he says, Riz. Oh, I'll talk to my interior decorator, doll-faced Danielle. She's real good with the feng shui.
What's he called?
Dollface Danielle.
Dollface Danielle.
It's 2024.
Hey, Dollface.
I just can't go with Danielle.
Dollface, when you buy something nice, huh?
Love that. Danielle, we've done all the Sopranos characters. Yeah, well, just Danielle and needs something more.
Dollface. Buy yourself something nice.
Dollface, is this my dog?
You will have a nice spot for that cup at the restaurant.
Tony says, all right. Stack says, hey, D, you want me to handle anything?
I thought you looked unusually busy about an hour and a half ago.
Tony, that's the first thing I did when I came in this morning. Tony says, oh, yeah, I want to get all the footage of the Heritage Cup matches. This is a different goddamn animal. I need to know all the ins and outs. All right, boys, I'm on it. And Tony says, oh, this kid's going to pay up. Doing his research.
Right, all Dollface Danielle patter aside, this is maybe the most convincing family segment ever. I'll tell you why.
Go on.
The one thing we've always spotted with Tony D, the family, since 2022, or 2021 when he first arrived, was that it doesn't really feel authentic. The Mafia would just be crueler. They're baby faces now, but they would be crueler even when they were heels. Can you think of anything crueler to
They wouldn't
do?
be stupid enough to admit to their crimes.
Exactly, yeah. Can you think of anything more intelligent and cruel to do to one of your victims than to make them sit and watch Heritage Cup matches on a loop? Because I can't.
And I'd rather get murdered.
Yeah, throw me in the fucking lake.
Well, I get to skip the ad breaks, right, boss? No, you have to get through.
The rounds that have never been seen before. Like, hoy me in the lake with 2 dimes. I don't want it.
Really easy. When the round's over, kick the crap out of your opponent because you can't get DQ'd in between rounds, then just pin him. But we'll see. Suddenly I like the Heritage Cup, I got to say. So.
It's crap, innit?
Oh, God, what time is it? Oh, bloody hell. It's getting up towards the end of the day, and I did promise Andy I was going to clean up my desk a little bit, spring cleaning. I thought...
Spring cleaning, dude.
Spring cleaning, dude.
Yeah, Andy didn't tell me.
I'm gonna go,
he didn't ask me that.
I know, yeah, mine's a bit more of a mess.
He's not
there's
even your
toys
boss.
everywhere. I've got a toy car. I'm not sure if you've seen on my desk that I quite like to drive around sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't just do it before you go home.
I just don't want to. I don't want the cleaners to come in and then.
Why would you clean ahead of the cleaners? That's the stupidest thing I've heard in my life.
Trust me, I agree with you on that one. And anyone who says that is a complete idiot. I'm going to do it nonetheless because I don't want to get in trouble. So I'll be back.
I think you're going to get in trouble.
Oh, God.
Play that with a family these days, Sidge.
What do you mean?
Just in general.
No, I thought you meant like...
Not like the family at home.
We're getting on, actually. It's all right. We're off to Kielder on Friday.
Oh, you love that stuff, don't you?
It's like
Nice,
a
that.
forest. I love a forest. Take my coffee, a little walk around the forest.
Coffee in the forest.
Feel like Special Agent Dale Cooper.
Hey,
Stacks,
how's it going, guys?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
I've been watching some Heritage Cup matches, so been better, to be honest.
Flight cancelled yesterday, was it?
Yeah, I just getting some Heritage Cup research,
Oh, I thought it was the inclement weather conditions.
Yes.
That's what we
Also
said.
that, also that.
Yeah, that's what we said yesterday on the pod.
What do you make of spring break and night 2, huh?
Another hit.
What did you think?
Another hit, I think, yeah.
I thought it was absolutely terrible.
Each their own, I suppose. Speaking of which, Sidge, what is the deal with spring, huh?
Well, it's remarkable, Stacks.
Uh-huh.
Remarkable that you should ask me this question because I was... Or was it you who was familiarised with the concept?
You were unfamiliar, and I helped you along with it. Yeah,
Yes, because I asked Hampton what the deal with spring was.
Just yesterday.
And he told me what spring was, and it's basically what's called a season. Mm-hmm. You're in wrestling, so you probably know this is SZN season.
Indeed. Fall.
Yeah, because why is it called fall?
The leaves fall off the trees.
Well, it's funny because in America you call them fall, sun hot, real cold, and anti-fall because
We land on green for spring.
green's called
Green.
spring. It's called green.
Waiting for
But
green
you could
to come.
also call it anti-fall because it's the time of the year when the leaves start to become green again and go back onto the trees. And there's like new life and you plant your crops and it's spring.
Spread your seeds.
Yeah.
Yes.
You sure you always get there, Stacks.
The thing I don't get about it, Sidney.
The force of Stacks.
Yeah.
Force of
Plenty
football.
work.
The thing I don't get about the whole thing anyway, Sidge, is how come when spring comes early, everybody gets excited, and when I do it, my missus cheats with the neighbor? Huh? I don't get that. 3 jokes, boy. Yeah. 3 jokes. Sidge, how do you make a waterbed more bouncy?
How do you make a waterbed more bouncy? Put a spring in it.
Yeah.
Put a spring in it.
Oh, it's good. All right. Close. How do you make a waterbed more bouncy? You use spring water. Huh?
Yeah.
Should really workshop that instead of just volunteering it.
It sounded right, though, and you're right to go spring direction.
Yeah, but what did the spring say to the airplane?
What did the spring say to the airplane?
Airplanes fly. Springs at that. So it's a physical spring, it's like a slinky, like the little spring out of a pen. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. Spring.
can't even put the two words together.
Hiya. I don't know. Evidently, I do not
Step
know.
on your dick, Stack, so that's good, but not right.
Good delivery, though. What did the spring say to the airplane? Boing!
Boing.
Yeah, that was my bad, Stacks. I should have popped, but like sometimes your accent
Indeed, yes.
sort of like stifles the punchline a bit.
Somewhat.
If my son was familiar with plane manufacturers, I would tell him that joke. It's nice and clean.
Yeah.
Speaking of nice and clean, final question, final joke for you. Sidge, why is spring rain a bit like yours truly over here?
Because
It's something to do with how/when it comes.
it's. I think it's a lot to do with the volume of his loads. Do the setup again.
Why is spring rain a little bit like yours truly over here?
You never want it to come so quickly, but it does anyway.
He's already done premature
done, yeah.
ejaculation, so spring rain, a lot like me. Spring rain, a lot like me. So I've got a punchline here that yeah, but it might be too dark because does it set up again?
Why is spring rain a little bit like yours truly?
Nobody wants to see it come.
Oh. Good, not right. Why is spring rain a little bit like yours truly? It doesn't last long, and it barely gets you wet. See you later, guys.
Very good.
Let's go that one.
Bye, Stacks.
Just missed him.
Again.
Yeah.
How clean's your desk?
I
I might go downstairs and take a picture of this.
please don't.
Suddenly like a new family character enters the podcast. Whoa!
So what do you mean, please don't? That would indicate that
I've
it's
not fully
clean.
finished it. I started doing it a bit and then I got bored and decided to come. I was missing out on the fun. I thought I heard a plane as well, so I thought I might catch Stacks, but I've just missed him.
When he didn't arrive yesterday until we found out about the weather and the travel and whatnot, I thought we might never see him again after last Wednesday. So if anything's a relief that he's just back.
Title match next. It was
the last thing.
Definitely not. Far from it. Nathan Fraser
When I'm cleaning windows.
and Axiom.
It's like me in my mind speaking to Excalibur. There's so much more to go.
They're facing Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor. The champs super kick AOP to the outside and do loads of dives. In the end, though, I think Akam caught Razor and chucked him down. They fight back, the baby faces, but Nathan got caught for a big German suplex to take us to break. When we come back, Fraser DDTs his way to freedom. But it's a big knee to the face from Razor that looked great to Nathan Fraser to get a 2 count. They go for the last chapter. That gets broken up. Akam gets sent up top, or goes up top and gets caught up there. But then Scarlett, who's also out there with Karrion Kross, grabs Axiom's foot. The referee decides, you're out of here, basically. And Kross has jumped up on the apron. Meanwhile, AOP are just toying with Axiom. They're just about to beat him. But who should arrive but Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, who, of course, got attacked by them on SmackDown. They interfere. They boot Akam and Razor. Fraser super kicks Akam into a roll-up from Axiom. 1, 2, 3.
Cowardly booking. I will say that Nathan Fraser, yet again, by miles, the in-ring highlight of this show. He truly wrestled as if I'm not like incredibly quick and incredibly crafty, I'm going to get murdered tonight. So let's be incredibly quick and incredibly crafty. He did more for the Authors of Pain than Karrion Kross could do if he lived 1,000 lifetimes.
This was mostly pretty poor. Like, there is the same amount of time that has passed between the Mega Powers at their WWE peak and getting back together to have the triple-decker match against the Alliance to End Hulkamania in WCW. Between this match and the AOP versus DIY and the Revival And that was when they meant something. That's the same amount of time, and we are being asked to pretend every week. I see AOP from those class takeover matches generations ago. Like, they don't have it. This was nowhere near the match that we'd generously built up in our heads as like...
That was that takeover era of, let's just practice this on the logo loop in the performance center to get it perfect and then do it and present it as this breakthrough classic. It's no wonder there was never any substance to a lot of it.
That weird and slightly scatterbrained but entertaining in a wild way Dusty Cup final with them and
TM.
Key went flying at the crowd that Paul Aaron is in a cage. Why? Because they're selling a toy. Like, there was just a bit of an energy to the AOP. Like, they had Shoot injured a couple of guys, and that doesn't help, but sort of does. It's gone. The energy is gone. This act has...
It will in 7 years of now.
Yeah, they were brought back, and then it was like, when's he actually going to bring the AOP out? And they've been at it. This stable's bad and all. Like,
Of course it is.
Nathan Fraser and Axiom weren't dragging them, kicking and screaming at something good.
Thea Hale's upset in the medical room. Why do people keep doing this to her? But thankfully, Rich Holland walks up, checks she's okay.
All right, love.
And then inadvertently concusses her, and Sean Spears is like, yes, good.
Andre Chase
Exactly
says
as I wanted.
she will be. Rich said, well, then you're not going to be able to trust anyone. And Andre Chase is like, everything all right? And he goes, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just trying to get those wins up. And Andre Chase says, anything you need, we've got you. Maybe he's going to go to chase you.
I think.
How old? Rich Holland.
Rich Holland.
He's going to chase you.
Yeah.
He's like 35.
Mature student.
It's like Billy Madison.
Chase you, considering that it's a
Billy
university.
Madison, because he gets angry a lot.
Considering it's a university within a gym, you don't hear much about Chase U's successful sports program or sports franchise.
The sports program is NXT.
Rich Holland's
The
going
wrestlers.
to get their rugby franchise off the ground. Yes. Got the background, hasn't he?
Yeah. Metaphor are leaving, and they're just like, what's in the envelope? What did you mean, Lash? And Noam says that Lash Legend tells no lies and invites Trick to the Supernova sessions next week. And Jakara, they leave. Jakara walks out with Fallon Henley saying, bloody hell, what's that all about? Fallon's want to talk about it. She's got to put herself first from here. Go after what she wants, maybe.
Titles, love.
Exactly.
In their order.
I really like what came next. Really, genuinely like what came next because it opens.
It was on NXT.
It comes with another game we can play next week. So,
well, what's in the envelope?
what's in the envelope?
Did it. What's in the envelope?
What's
this game?
Well, we've got that. We got what's Gigi Dolin and Ariana Grace up to? Who wins the campaign? And what unlucky thing's going to befall our boys next week? Because
because they broke the mirror.
yeah, they broke the mirror. Malik's a bit nervous for Idris because Idris broke the mirror. I thought he might have some bad luck. He just said, "Don't worry, it's fine. It was plastic anyway." Malik says it's a tale as old as time that breaking a mirror ends you. And then Reese's Pieces, Brindley walks in.
I don't hate that, you know. I mean, I do. She's fundamentally, but they're going to win at the end of a big losing streak.
They're going to have a losing streak that lasts as long as the authors are paying gap.
Yeah.
It's over.
She says, I thought you might need some cheering up, so I've bought you something. It's 2 kittens, but they're 2 black cats.
Just luck. Superstition keeps coming our way.
There's so many things we can play with in terms of superstitious things next week.
At the Combine, where all the wrestlers are practicing for the big North American title match, they're going to accidentally walk under a ladder.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah.
No, and then we can pitch.
We should say that for the preview.
Sorry. Just Google look stuff before
Podcasts
we...
are long enough as it
Look
is.
stuff before we come in and then just...
Podcasts are long enough as it is.
Give the people what they want.
We go to the main event match of the evening. NXT Underground. Lola Vice versus Natalya. They fight out to the floor. They spill into all the people who are banging the ring. Natalya grabbed a knee bar. Vice kicked her way out of it. Hip attacks Natalya. She gets sent to the outside to take us to break. There's a snap suplex on the floor to Vice, but she trips Natalya on the announcer's table. Vice...
It's a f***ing worked MMA match, apparently. What the f*** are you doing with an announcer's table for? Just do something different once in your life. know what I mean? Like, it's got audibly, angrily yawned.
Vice got a triangle choke.
Bankrupt. You should have went bankrupt years ago.
Natalia slips out of it. Can't power out of a guillotine,
What would be
though.
better than the Octagon is if the fighters got out and fought in the crowd for a bit and found their way back. That's the one thing USC's missing while it's making billions and billions.
To get out of a guillotine, you do a spine buster to the floor. There you go. Natalia, rare thing this. She steals a Bret Hart spot. She rams Lola Vice's leg into the ring post and does the figure four around it, of course. Baszler walks over near them, but Petrovic jumps on her back before she can interfere. Baszler tries to interfere again from Natty trying to put on a sharpshooter. She should have known that Lola Vice would have been absolutely fine. Natty fights her off, chucks her out the ring, puts a sharpshooter on. Lola Vice is trapped in it, and then Baszler just grabs Petrovic and chokes the life out of her. Natty decides, this sharpshooter's doing now, innit? Goes after Baszler, sends her into the barricade, gets back in, but Baszler's grabbing her foot and stuff. It distracts Natalia. She turns around into a spinning back fist from Lola Vice, who knocks her out cold, basically. She ground and pound. Referee calls it at that point. Lola Vice wins NXT Underground.
Stunk.
We theorised yesterday that because...
Well, that's what I think was going to happen.
Well,
I watched Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. 2 earlier this year.
The
hell is this?
3 last night. Spiritual sequel.
The hell was... It's so... They cannot help themselves but be the most mid-promotion that's ever gone on a hot streak.
So, yeah, we theorised that because of the sort of mild success of NXT Underground Part 1, that because of their little interactions over WrestleMania weekend with Bloodsport, this was like sort of NXT... throwing its eyelashes at Josh Barnett and how funny it would be for the super serious Josh Barnett to be like, you know what I like the look of? NXT. What's that look like? And then to Sidgwick's point, like, imagine I was, again, too serious for his own good. Like, I'm not sort of defending this amount of taking yourself seriously.
Yeah, he sucks.
But him watching this, what the hell are they doing on that goddamn table?
It's secret.
What's happened? What's happened to my business in which I work all the results of a tournament that is just as fake as the other stuff? Right? I enjoy Bloodsport live, but I mean... what's it for otherwise other than Josh Barnett to be like, the real shit? That's what it's for, isn't it? Like every year. You call it Josh Barnett's Bushido. Even more real shit. Real than real. Maybe a gal die out there.
Really
Josh Barnett.
He's real
Josh Barnett sport. So I don't think he's going to come in. That's how it's going to take after watching this. I think we put NXT Underground to bed for a little while longer.
Anything else you want to say about this?
That was poor. Opportunity to do something different.
Shayna,
do some announce table spots.
Shayna and Lola Vice, I think, is going to kick ass.
Yeah.
Because Shayna kind of doing the sort of gym
it's
look to the
not,
camera
man.
bit and then bailing her out. I think that's going to be a good ass match.
It's not. Can't do it. They evidently can't do it. They don't want to do it. So why bother trying to do something that there's no attempt made to do anything different?
Now, speaking like somebody that has not seen a certain PLE main event from 2020, I will show you when we get back to our office.
Can't watch that.
You certainly can.
Cool.
She's in her element, shall we say.
Ava's backstage with
cage.
the women's champion Roxanne Perez, and she says, "You got a title match next week."
It's more comfortable like this temporarily.
That's what all hostages say.
She's got a title match next week.
Title max. What's that?
She's going to be taken to the max by a challenger who is the perfect fit for NXT. Chelsea Green, yes!
Oh my God.
And Green says, I think I like it around here. And I thought, I think I like you around here as well. This is going to kick ass.
For like 2 weeks. Situational babyface Chelsea Green.
They've got a new TV deal coming up or something. Yeah. They haven't even got another one to negotiate.
Oh, I see.
It's the main roster city.
Just, I don't know.
We've just done the draft.
It's funny, isn't it?
No, we've just done the draft.
She's moved. She's gone to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Here's a new home.
If I couldn't get her. Or could she?
I'll move house. You know what I like to do? Go to another new house. What the fuck is this?
And she's here. Not here.
Not here.
Not here. Not here.
Different world,
Well,
isn't
the character suddenly makes more sense here. You find
Bizarro world. Quite literally.
Yeah. Postman Pierce going like, whew.
So another brilliant NXT Spring Breaking, dude. Let us know your thoughts on everything in the comment section below or on X. Oh.
You said main event match. Is there anything that happened after the main event that I
Chelsea
forgot about?
Green.
Oh, that was the last thing.
Yeah.
I must have forgot that.
That's the biggest thing
I
to
watched it
last.
on YouTube.
Let us know your thoughts.
Cliffhangers. We've come
Yeah.
in for more cliffhangers in wrestling. You got one right here.
At
Not
what-
Chelsea Green.
At What Culture WWE on X. You can follow all three of us there. You can follow Michael Hamflet at.
Michael Hamflet.
You can follow Michael Sidgwick at.
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at What Culture WWE, as I said. Make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts. For now, this has been the NXT Spring Breaking Dude Night 2 review. My thanks to Hamflet, to Sidge, to Stacks. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.